We're all adults over here, so let's talk about some spicy sapphic fiction. And if you're not an adult, then maybe just don't watch this video. Maybe watch the next one instead. Also, if you're related to me, maybe don't watch this video. Just say it. I live for sapphic romance books with just a bit of spice in them. I'm not talking about smut the entire way through, like books which are just like entirely about sex. I'm talking about like sapphic romance fiction with spicy scenes, with sex scenes. It is my kryptonite, it is my crack. I love it. Back when I was desperately pretending or desperately trying to be straight, I would read straight romance books and be like physically repulsed by any sniff of sex in them. Like it used to like make me feel ill to my stomach. How I didn't realise I was a lesbian until I was like in my mid-20s, I don't know, but we all have our journeys. Turns out now, I live for it, I love it. I'm not going to be able to go into much detail in this video as to why these books are so particularly great because YouTube will demonetize me, but this is very much going to be a just trust me kind of scenario. Like, just trust me, these are all fantastic. And we are going to start with the trifecta, my favourite book series of all time, honestly, is the Ashley Herring Blake Brightful series. It is 3 books. We have Delilah Green Doesn't Care, we have Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, and we have Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. And this basically follows a friendship group of 3 women as they each one by one find their soulmate and discover their person, and about everything that happens along the way. And what happens is quite a lot of sex. Delilah Green, the first book in the series, is definitely my favourite just because I love the character of Delilah. But honestly, I'm not shitting on these two, like I love the other 2 books as well, but this one is just, I think Delilah as a character is just somebody that I would love to know in real life, and the way that Ashley Herring Blake writes her characters, they just feel so real, like they jump off the page. She has such a way of writing people that Delilah, if she's out there, she should be my best friend. Delilah's also just like my type in a woman, like kind of like tomboy femme, dark hair, tattooed, like cool clothes, like hello, like that is just a bit of me. I love this whole series so much. Something I do find a lot with writers, especially when they write like entire series or they have like multiple books, is their spicy scenes go a bit like copy and paste. They all sort of are basically the same scenes with different characters. And so that is a trap that a lot of them fall into. But Ashley Herring Blake really doesn't. Like each scene is so distinctive in all these books. Again, I can't tell you details, but there's a scene. Oh my god. There is a scene in Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail that I think about all the time. Like, I can't tell you the details, but there is a kitchen pantry involved. It is so good. But yes, if you like small town romances with a lot of spice, this series, you just can't go wrong. I'm so sad that Iris Kelly was the last one in the series, but I'm so excited to see what Ashley Herring Blake does next. I do find that when I find an author who's like spicy scenes and just like general writing I really connect with, I will go out and read every book that they've ever written. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Meryl Wilsner. And this is Mistakes Were Made. I must admit, this book wasn't entirely my cup of tea, but it was very much like a personal thing. And this is about an age gap relationship. So you've got Cassie, who is, so you've got Cassie, who is a college student, and you've got Erin, who is Cassie's friend's mum. So this is very much an age gap kind of situation. I know a lot of lesbians, a lot of sapphic people are very much into like age gaps or like the older woman, like MILF kind of situations. Honestly, I've never got that, don't understand it. But this book, the spice in it is, she's spicing. She is real spicy. I didn't entirely connect with it, but I know that a lot of people really do. Like for a lot of people, this is their absolute number one. But Meryl Wilsner also wrote Cleat Cute. Now for full clarity, I am only about halfway through this book. I'm going to talk about it anyway because I absolutely love this so much. I'm like trying to read this as much as I can. I just do not have time at the moment. Oh my god, this book is so good. Fun fact about me is that I am now really into women's football. Like I used to think I hated football, like it just wasn't for me. Turns out it's just like the rampant misogyny in football that I really don't care about. Don't care about seeing a bunch of men running around on a field all sweaty. Like that just does nothing for me, to be honest. Don't get it. So much aggression, so much testosterone. No thank you, not for me. Women's football, it turns out. I am really into women's football. Seeing women running around a pitch all sweaty, I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. But also I just like really enjoy the sport of women's football. Like it's much slower and like easier for me to follow. There's not as much like rolling around on the floor crying. Like I love women. Like, and every time women do something, it's just better. And but Cleats Cute is about soccer, not football, I should say, because this is set in the USA. Our two romantic leads in this are Grace Henderson, who is like this 26-year-old, like really seasoned football player. She has been on the team for years. She is the captain. She's like very stoic and like she works hard to get what she wants. And she's just like very serious and like just football is her entire life. Then you've also got Phoebe Matthews, and Phoebe is the newbie on the team. She's 21 or 22 years old and she's just this like breath of fresh air. So you very much got like the grumpy sunshine trope in this. So Phoebe comes in, Grace is like immediately obsessed with her, but she's trying like not to be obsessed with her because she is the captain and like Phoebe is like really annoying, like she just doesn't shut up ever. I really relate with Grace in this book on like a lot of levels, which I feel like is really nice in a book, because Phoebe as a person in real life would also really annoy me too. Like, you know, there's people who just like never shut up. I just not my kind of thing, but it really works in this book. And they connect really quickly, and it's like one of these books, there is no slow burn in this at all. Like you are straight in it with the spice. I think the spice probably starts around page 75-ish, which is quite soon. I have no idea how this book's going to end because I'm only about halfway through. I'm so intrigued to find out. It's so spice heavy. So spice heavy. I love it. If you Google spicy sapphic books, this, Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellfleur, will no doubt be one of the very first books to pop up. Like, this book has become the blueprint for any sapphic spice to come after it. It is so good. Again, we very much have the grumpy sunshine trope in this. We have Darcy, who's just this like corporate woman, very serious, very stoic. And we have Elle, who is an astrologer, or is it astrologer? Astronomer. Astrologer. She believes in like horoscopes and stuff and like reading the stars. She's very like hippy dippy, like just goes with the flow. She's like the opposite of Darcy in every single way. But they just connect, and it's also got the fake dating tropes. They pretend to date, so they're like brothers or the friends. I read this a really long time ago. I actually can't remember the details. But basically, so people stop telling them they need to go out and date. They like pretend to date and they connect, and there is, again, a lot of spice. What I really loved about this book is the romance was so pure. Like, you can tell from really early on, even though these two women are completely opposite, their connection is just like undeniable, and that makes the spicy scenes like so much more intense. I do know there's two more in this series. The middle book is about a bisexual character who is in a relationship with a man, so I haven't read that. The last one in the series is again about a sapphic relationship, so I'm definitely going to be trying to read that one at some point. I've picked it up to buy it like a million times, but I just keep putting it down, but I really need to because I really, really enjoyed this one. Yeah, it's really hard to talk about these books without like going into detail because I don't want to get demonetized, but just trust me. I'd say Written in the Stars and the Mary Wilson books are like really, really spice heavy. But if you want something just a little bit lighter, I would maybe recommend Kiss Her Once From Me by Alison Cochrane. This is a lovely Christmassy sapphic romance. So if you want something good for the Christmas season, this could be the one. And this is a real slow burn between these two characters. You've got Ellie and Jack, Jack being short for Jacqueline, a woman. And they basically went on a date, had like an amazing first night together, and then everything just went tumbling down. And Ellie has spent the last year basically pining over this woman. And then she gets herself into a situation where she is going to marry a man so he can get his money from his like grandparents. Like, he's been told he can only get the money if he marries somebody, and he's like, Ellie, if you help me out, I'll like give you part of the money, and she really needs money. So she agrees to this and agrees to go to a cabin with him and his family for Christmas, like really sell the idea of them getting married. Only it turns out that Jack is the guy's sister. If you like the close proximity trope, you will absolutely love this one. They're already like in close proximity in this like family's cabin, and then one night they get trapped in an even smaller cabin where there's only one bed they've got to share. They're like freezing cold, so they've got to like snuggle for warmth, and things progress from there. This is definitely much lighter on the spice, but the spice is definitely still there. You just got like, it's a slow burn. This one is very much slow burn. It's also a lot less intense, so if you're kind of very new to the spicy sapphic scene, maybe don't delve straight in with Written in the Stars or Mary Wilson books. Maybe this one is a good place to start. You can get used to that kind of writing style and then go from there. Moving on to books now that I've read on my trusty Kindle. All of these are available on Kindle Unlimited, I'm 99% sure. I want to talk about Claire Lydon. Claire Lydon is a lesbian author and she writes some fantastic lesbian fiction. The names of which have escaped me, so I'm just gonna look on Goodreads real quick. Oh my god, if you like slow burn romance, you need to read It Started With a Kiss by Claire Lydon. This book, it is like painful how slow it is. Like the connections between these characters, they like meet in the very first chapter and they like get with each other in the bathroom of a bar. And then they go their separate ways and then they find their way back together, but nothing happens for so much of the book. But that, like, the build up, the intensity, it makes it so much better when it finally happens. It is so good. It's set in a vineyard in like Berkshire or Hampshire. Like it is so rogue. It is, oh my god, it is so good. The main love interests in this are Gemma and Sky, and I really did enjoy how you really got to know the characters individually before you got to know them together as a couple. Honestly, it is so good, and the fact it's on Kindle Unlimited, amazing. Although actually I must say with this one, whilst the slow burn is really, really good, like really intense, the motivation behind the slow burn is quite poor. So if that kind of thing frustrates you, you might find this one really, really frustrating. It's some sort of like self-imposed rule by Gemma that like stops her and Sky being together, which just is really ridiculous. But if you like slow burn, honestly, so slow. Oh my god, another book by Claire Lydon, which was so good, is called Hot Shot. It is another lesbian football romance. Honestly, if you know of any other football lesbian romances that aren't Cleat Cute or Hot Shot, let me know because I am all over it. Oh, it is so good. There is something about a female footballer which I'm all for it. I love it. Hot Shot is set here in the UK. You've got American football star Sloane Patterson, who has transferred over to the Selchester Rovers up north. And when she gets there, she meets Ella. Now, Sloane is really recently out of an engagement, and so she's not looking for anything. Ella's just started a new job. She is like the performance coach at Selchester Rovers, so she can't really do anything that's going to mess up her job, her career. Only there's just this like undeniable connection between these two characters. Not even like a proper spice scene, but the first kiss in this book is probably one of the best first kisses I've ever read in a romance book. Like the lead up to it happening, oh, it's so, like the tension is palpable. It is so good. You can tell in this book that Claire Lydon is really knowledgeable and really interested in the subject that she's writing about, not just lesbians, but like football. Like it all feels so real. And obviously I'm only recently into football in like the last year and a half or so. But from what I've learned, like it just all like fitted perfectly and I could imagine it happening in real life. And as somebody who watches women's football, not only for the sport, but also for the drama, oh my god, the lesbian drama in women's football is just insane. This book feels so real. The final book I want to shout out is one I actually started and finished yesterday. It is only 152 pages long. Full disclosure, this isn't the best writing you're ever going to read. Like it could have done with another edit or two or maybe even three. Like there were quite a few kind of glaring errors in the writing. But if you're just in it for the smut, for the spice, Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera, so good. Mangoes and Mistletoe is about two Dominican chefs and they are competing on this reality TV show to basically win this big prize, and they are forced into sharing a room, and a room which only has one bed, so you've definitely got the forced proximity thing here. You know what's gonna happen. Like literally as soon as these two characters meet in the first chapter of the book, it is so obvious what's going to happen. Like they've just got this immediate attraction to each other, but one of them's like, no, I'm in this competition to win because I need the money. I'm not interested in making friends with anyone else. And the other one's like, oh, she's hot. I want to do stuff to her. And they end up doing stuff and it is really good. Actually, the book itself, again, like I said, could do with some editing, but the smut, the spice, that's good. Honestly, I think if it was any longer than just 150 pages, I probably would have DNF'd it because the writing does leave a lot to be desired. But I wasn't in it for a great writing experience. I was in it for the smut, and the smut was good. So there you go. If you're looking for a spicy sapphic romance book, they're all a really good place to start. I would honestly recommend that you read any of those. Like I said, if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, go for Kiss Her Once For Me. I forgot the title of it then. If you want something real smut heavy, go for Written in the Stars. Go for Mistakes Were Made. Mistakes Were Made is probably the smuttiest one in this list, but it is milfy, age gap kind of sitch, which isn't for everyone, but people do really enjoy it. So if that's your thing, that book is fantastic. I know you guys really seem to enjoy my sapphic or my queer book recommendations. Honestly, in going into this channel, I thought I was going to make queer book content, but I didn't actually think anybody would be all that interested in it. But it seems like I have actually made myself a little niche in the sapphic book world, and people are watching those videos more than anything else, which I absolutely love. So if you've got any ideas for any other sort of sapphic themed videos, just queer book videos, if you've got any sapphic book recommendations for me, then please do let me know. My voice is literally shaking. I've had a Red Bull this morning and no food, so I'm literally like really good, but I'm going out for lunch now. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.